top of a house, we had a set of drawings, and we did quantity takeoffs, each component, excavation, footings, masonry, flooring, walls. We ended up with a little bit of the roof. We learned a lot of vocabulary and what things are in different words, how we do our units, and we also, learned about specs, bids, and the whole contract package. And then, of course, we ended up with the finished interior and exterior finishes. So that was pretty much the course outline. And if you look at the course outline, the syllabus, that's how the college sets it up, the assignments, the grading, and what the learning objectives are. Midterm was written on the 21st. We did wall before the midterm. I didn't put it on the midterm, so that's where I'm gonna start forward to the final. So everything before February 14th is not on the exam. And so it starts from the wall to last class, second last class. Last class was just presentations. So I'll go through, right now I have it at 70 marks. It's true, false, fill in the blanks, multiple choice, and no calculations. That's how it's set up right now, and I'm just, it might, if anything, it'll go less, maybe to 50 marks, depending on a couple of tweaks I wanna make. But I'm gonna go through some of the questions, or the comments, or the sentences that for sure will be on the exam in some format. So learning what I put on the slides would be very important. Again, what I have to pull from are the wall framing, bidding requirements, contract forms and conditions of contracts, specifications, anything about finishes, interior, exterior, and then of course master format specs. So these will all be part of the questions. For wall, again, you guys did the quantities. I'm more concerned about just understanding the terminology. How many hints you guys want?
All of it.
As many as you can get.
Huh?
Remember that class average?
Yeah, I really wanna get that class average up. So I will probably give you a picture for you to fill in the blank. That might be on for 10 points, let's say.
Is this on the
10.
review online?
I'm not posting this and nobody takes pictures, please. But I might be giving you the frame and you would tell me what all the parts of the wall are. So a header,
Yeah.
plate, that's an easy 10 if you just know what the words are.
Thank you.
If you remember this diagram, that's all I'm probably going to do on wall. I might throw a true and false in there or something just to understand wall, but I'm not gonna really dwell on that part. The construction, you remember this flow from the architectural documents, that we have bidding requirements, forms, we talked about different conditions, the specs, the drawings, how we do addendums, and that was a class where I think I had 30% attendance. So I would recommend you guys go back to that lecture and read the document. I highlighted things that will for sure be on the exam, because I had both screens on at the same time. My exam was here and my PowerPoint's here. So just as a hint, these are going to be on for sure. I might ask, under the bidding requirement, under the first general heading, what information could you find here? Fill in the blank, so maybe 4, maybe 5. That what do we ask at the beginning? We say, hey, I have a bid, I'm inviting you, these are the instructions, I want you to give it to me on Friday at noon. Whatever it is, here's the form, here's the agreement we're gonna enter. Those are the general requirements under the bid heading. I wanna make sure that you know what these are and why they're important in terms of setting up the contract. Again, things that are always typically included in a form of tender, in a package. If I wanna say, hey, go build my house, I'm going to put an invitation out to submit. This is the tender I want you to fill out. That's your quantities. It's blank. You have all your quantity takeoffs, you have your units, and they're blank. So all the contractors just fill it out and they compete against each other. All contract conditions, if I say a mandatory site meeting, this is where you put this, package in. You put, the drawings, you put the information on the owner, the client, how you wanna pay for this, that all goes into this form of tender. People get that and they decide if they wanna bid on the project or not. They wanna say, well, yeah, maybe I'll take this one, maybe I won't, but that's the package that goes out and, for bid. Does anybody remember the types of tender?
Negotiated, open, selected.
Are you reading that?
No.
Do you know what the differences are?
No.
We got hot shot.
I didn't write that one,
You didn't write that one down? What's an open tender?
Open bid.
Open bid, public, anybody can bid, qualified or not. It's on the owner to disqualify at that point, but you just come and open bid. You pull it off a public website. Most governments, that's how we do it. When I was working with power, you just post it on the website. Hey, we're doing a bid, we need a water main, I need a pump house, I need this, I need a road. Anybody can bid on that. That's open, transparent. What's negotiated?
Whoever pays the most.
I'd say so.
No,
Talk to their client on the side.
yeah. You handpick, and then you negotiate with a certain contractor. I'm negotiating with you, you did my last house, or you did the last project, I wanna do phase 2, I'm just gonna negotiate with you. What's selected tendering?
You single one out that you know already did a good job or something.
Yeah, you pre-qualify. If I wanna build a bridge, I'm not training you how to build a bridge, I'm going to pre-qualify these 10 contractors, a consulting firm, that know how to build a bridge, and they're the only ones that could bid. So knowing the 3, and maybe a description of them, again, open, negotiated, and selective tendering. Those are the 3 ways that people go out for tender. Yeah, so this question might be on. This type of tendering involves inviting submissions from the open market, open, negotiated, or selected. Right? Kinda gave it away in the question, but maybe. But I would ask a question where you would pick the type of tender that is. 2 bidding procedures. It's competitive bidding or negotiated bidding. Different than the type of tender. You know the difference between those? Similar. Negotiated bidding could be before when you pick somebody and you negotiate. It could also be when you get your open bids and you have a low bid. And usually public gets the lowest bid, so if everybody came and said, hey, I'll build your house, Jane, and you were the lowest, you said, I'm gonna build yours for $150,000, everybody was before, I can now come to you and negotiate with you. Say, well, you said 150, but can we maybe take this off or add this or do this, and I negotiate a final price with you. So that's why there's strategies on how you bid. Competitive bidding is strictly, everybody gets fair chance, they bid, and the person is selected without the ability to negotiate. So those are the, definitions of them, they're in the slide deck. Sometimes you do it on price. Sometimes when you wanna do it, when we were trying to find architects for remodeling, the Civic Center in Essex, we did it on best value. We said, we wanna modernize the whole main floor of this building, so it's not only price, it's how creative are you, what are we giving it to you? So it was a 60-40. 40% was based on lowest price, and 60% was based on value. As long as you tell everybody in that general section, the bidding section, this is how I'm going to make the decision of who gets the bid, it's legal and fair, transparent process. If you don't tell them, you have to go into that basic open tender lowest bid, and then you kind of have to own that project. So again, those are the 2 different types. Remember the types of contract. How you pay. It's fixed price. If you just told me 150,000, if it cost you 200,000 because you couldn't find supplies, or your workers didn't show up, or it rained for 100 days, too bad. That's what I'm paying you, it's fixed price. A cost plus contract is set up when you're not exactly sure. You talked about finishes, maybe market value of finishes, so we're gonna understand that it's, a price with an agreed upon way to add extras. And the time and material is literally how you get somebody to come to your house and repair a stove. You show up, it's $100 flat rate, and I charge you $100 an hour, and you pay all parts. That's time and materials. So that's another way of bidding and quoting, jobs. So understanding the three different types. Fixed price is usually written in a lump sum number, and it's exclusive of all taxes and extras. Good? Again, what's in the tender documents? 3 things, 4 things, maybe just list of what goes in. We give them instructions, we put the drawings, we put insurance requirements, we put in those finish schedules, we put in the bid form. These all go in those tender documents. They are the contract set up of how this project goes, even if that project goes for 6 weeks or 6 years, that's the guide of how it's executed. Agreement to bond. You guys, anybody remember what the bonding is? Anybody remember what a bid bond is? No? Think about it, bid bond.
You bid on an amount and you're set to pay that if you're selected for it?
Nope, that's the fixed price contract. The bond is usually set at a percentage, so if it's $150,000 home, that bid bond is usually 10 to 15%, so it's a little bit of a sneaky way of how people know what the value is. So if I said bid bond of $10,000 is required, that means for me to accept your bid, you're giving me a certified bond, a check from your insurance and bank, for me to be able to cash in that $10,000 if for any reason you back out. If you give me that bid bond and you're the low bid and I said, hey, Steve, you're chosen for my project, and everybody else leaves, I go to council, I get my job awarded, and then you say, yeah, something came up, I'm not gonna do that job anymore, I keep your bid bond. It protects me to go to the next lowest bid, and that's why people ask for it. If you held it, or anybody else, didn't get selected, they get it back. So that's what the bid is, it secures the owner for selecting you. Insurance. We talked about requirements for insurance when we hire contractors. The tender documents, they tell you what we need for insurance. I need $2 million liability. I need, different styles, and I think I have it listed in another one, automobile insurance. Again, people get hurt. People get hit by a car on the construction site. Things happen. There's another, car accident on your job site when you left. Right now, you see detours and stuff, if something crashes and breaks up your construction, we have insurance to go through. Yep.
Are we filling up the tender for it?
You can throw the tender for?
On the example?
No. Types of agreements that you can fill out. This is types of agreements. We talked about the different types in one of our classes. Usually follows the CCDC as architects. This is your guiding document. They keep updating it annually. This is an old picture. But lump sum agreed upon price, unit price, or cost plus fee agreements. That's how those agreements are written, and it has all the information of how those get paid. These agreements even tell you when you get paid. It tells you once the excavation is done, that team of contractors gets paid. Phase 2, it gets paid. It breaks it up, not as a whole, but even when you get paid, payment schedules. Do you remember what they are? Lump sum agreement? A set price that they hold on to. A unit price agreement is I will excavate that for 100 per meter squared of soil. $100 per meter squared. And you pay me based on tickets from the trucks. So those are the difference of unit price. Again, you guys are estimating, you have an engineer's estimate or an architect's estimate for me. I think it's this month because of the estimate, but really, you don't know until you get there. So these unit price agreements are usually for the excavation section. They have disclaimers because as much as, it's frustrating to estimate, it really is not 100% when you try to estimate earth removal. Soil conditions can change, environment conditions can change. And remember the cost plus, the sandwich, like I use the sandwich, if it costs $100, but I decide I want a $50 markup fee, I charge you $150, that's the agreement. You pay you agree to my markups. That's what we do in real life. When we buy a coffee at a store or you go out to shop, it's all cost plus, they're making money. So we talked about surety bonds. So the bid bond is strictly for the submission. The other bond is for the project. And it protects the owner, it protects the contractor, and the bank that's supplying the funds to get through this project. So again, they're written documents, they put all the agreements, obligations of the criteria of the project, and it has certain protection for the three parties.
What's this bond called?
They're called surety bonds.
Sure.
Yeah. That's the technical term. So again, we talked about bid bond. That's just for you getting awarded. If you get the job, you're awarded the job, that doesn't get cashed out, that's just a secure bond to make sure. A performance bond is the value of the project. If your project doesn't meet the performance standards expected, if I show up and my basement's crooked, or things are collapsing, or the wall didn't meet code, or the inspector made you redo the footing, this performance bond puts it all back on the contractor. You don't wanna take that responsibility. It's very important that it's the whole value of the project, and then some. Labor and material bond, it's making sure that people will get paid. They actually just passed a new rule in 2018. A lot of the subcontractors weren't getting paid in time, they couldn't pay their staff because employers or owners waited till the project was done. Meanwhile, the person who did your basement is gone, and they just wanna get paid and move on to the next project. They have nothing else to do with your project. So these labor material bonds starts to apply as soon as their work is done, they get paid, and you have 90 days from that point to make any claims or disagreements, and then it's closed. So it protects the subcontractor as well. So the labor materials for staffing and subcontractors, and then specifically protecting the prime contractors. If you wanna know, in a commercial building, you have a general contractor, let's say ABC Contracting, but they hire mechanical, they hire electrical, they hire, civil, structural engineers and contractors. They're the ones responsible for all of them, so they need these bonds to protect themselves. If the owner doesn't pay them, that they don't have a lawsuit against them for not paying their subcontract. These are the types of insurance: auto, workers' comp, general liability, and all risk property. We have these on our card. Anybody pay their own car insurance? They're all in here. You have, anybody opt out of stuff?
Yeah.
You opt out of, comprehensive?
I don't know, it's so long ago.
Yeah. It's really divided, and if you hurt people versus you hurt property, or your car is damaged, you wanna protect yourself in the event of killing somebody or dying,